Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is your boy, the coach from the WWE. I would like to welcome you to the very first wrestling podcast in the world to take you on a weekly deep dive into classic matches along with legends of the squared circle. Enjoy the discussion. Enjoy the back and forth. There's so much to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Payoff.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Payoff. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. Flair, Steamboat, Chi-Town Rumble, 1989. Jeff, this is match number 185 that we've covered, but we're still coming across just fantastic matches. And next week, I'm actually super pumped about as well. Like, I mean, I look at our lineup and what we have coming up, and I'm like, how are there still this many great matches, iconic moments that somehow we haven't covered? And I've never seen this match. I am super excited. But what's going on with you, my man?
Yeah, this is one, again, like, let me give the old spiel for everybody because it's been a while here. And so, of course, like it's 185 episodes. We're not stopping. We always appreciate when you share with us on social media some different matches. We always going to shout you out for those of you that share those with us. But let's get the chain going here. Let's get some 5 stars on the different apps here, whether you're using Spotify, whether you're using Apple Music, whatever it is. Like let's get some 5 stars this week. And so in honor of this 5-star match, like, why not? Let's get it out there. But then also too, like, this is one where, I'm right there with you. It feels like, there's always matches. There's like, how have we gone 185 episodes and not talked about this? Or how have we, gone, this many episodes and not talked about that? And so we've still probably got, and the list is always growing, probably 200 more matches that we can cover on our list. But this is one where it's just kind of like, the hell, like, it's time to talk about this one. It kind of, it doesn't, kind of lines up a little bit here with the anniversary of this one. And so it was, would have been last week, I guess, in 1989. So yeah, just kind of good stuff. But this one where, pick a Flair Steamboat match and you're going to be impressed. And so this is one that we know we're going to be impressed. So I know that's why I wanted to cover this one.
Good. Well, I'm pumped, dude. I'm seriously, I'm really pumped.
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's get into the build.
Oh, it's time for the build.
All right, so Chi-Town Rumble. Is it Chi or Shy? Chi-Town.
I think I'd say Shy, yeah. But it's
you're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it didn't sound right.
Twitter will let us know.
Chi is Chai Tea.
Yes. Yeah. Twitter let us know. Like, we'll accept that.
February 20th, 1989. A long time ago, man.
Long ass time ago, yep.
Long time ago. Chicago, UIC Pavilion. That's the University of Chicago, downtown. 8,000 in attendance. So let's take a look at this card. And, man, some really long matches on this card, right? Like,
yeah, big show.
Go back and look at WrestleMania 4, and you're going to find like 30 matches that were all 3 minutes long. Meanwhile, down south here, we've got these really long matches. So Michael Hayes defeats the Russian Assassin in 15 minutes. Sting defeats Butch Reed in 20 minutes. Midnight Express and Jim Cornette defeat the original Midnight Express and Paulie Dangerously in 15 minutes. Mike Rotunda defeats Rick Steiner in 16 minutes. Lex Luger defeats Barry Windham in 10 minutes. The Road Warriors defeat the Varsity Club in 8 minutes. And then the reason we're here. Steamboat, Flair.
Just stacked card. That's crazy.
Really stacked card. Really stacked card. So why did these guys not pose a bigger threat to Vince McMahon? Got two theory or two reasons for you as I look at this card. Number one is they didn't have Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
So there was only one Hulk Hogan. And then the second, and I'm sure we'll make this observation when we put this on. I'd bet anything, look at visually this match and this presentation and compare it to 1989 WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6, Trump Plaza, Skydome, right? So, I mean, you look at the eras and just the lighting and the graphics and the larger-than-life characters. So, Vince, I mean, it's a credit to Vince and Hulk Hogan, and you can argue who created who put who on the map. It's a great conversation, but anyways, just an observation. But star ratings, 3 3/4 for Luger Wyndham. Otherwise, not that good, kind of bleak. But this match was obviously a classic. Build, let's go.
Yeah, there's not a ton actually. And so I don't think I've ever had this few bullet points on this one, just kind of crazy. And so you had it Starrcade, actually December 1988, Flair beating Luger to retain the title on this one. It was actually then World Championship Wrestling. Steamboat returned to WCW. It was actually a surprise return, partnering against Flair and Barry Windham, and he was partnered with Eddie Gilbert. And so you actually had Steamboat pinning Flair to win that match and then demanding a shot against Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And so, and then the end of January, it was announced that these two would have a match. And so, that's it. Like, you really don't need a whole lot more than that. It's really just, he pinned him once. Like, hey, I guess that means you should be the number one contender, and Flair accepted. So it doesn't need a whole lot because I'm just excited to watch this one and see what happens.
Well, and remember too, this is the timing's great too because Flair's Flair, made man. Obviously, these two had wrestled a zillion times, but this is after WrestleMania 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Steamboat goes away, pretty good run, Intercontinental Champion, stole the show at the biggest wrestling show in the history of wrestling. Now he's back. And he wants Flair. And he pins Flair. And now we get to this match. So I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Me too, man. I want to remind everybody, though, before we get going on this one, of course, manscaped.com. Make sure you're using our promo code PAYOFF. It's getting you 20% off, free shipping, everything in the store. Whether you need
looking good.
Hey, man, I'm telling you. Yep, I gotta look good. All this stuff, vacations, things like that, looking good from a lady. And so make sure you're using that promo code PAYOFF. And then also True Classic Tees, PAYOFF 25, PAYOFF 25, just the numbers there. Getting 25% off there as well, too. So I am ready, sir, if you are ready.
2 hours and 1 minute. 2 hours, 1 minute. Chi-Town Rumble 89. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
It's time for the payoff.
Oh, it's time for the payoff.
For this challenge.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 5'11", 235. Ric Flair, 6 feet, 242.
Looking
Size
cut.
Neither man will have an advantage as far as the size is concerned in this one. The finest official in the sport, Tommy Young, has been assigned this very important contest. Collar and elbow
Sounds
tie.
like a young
Flair and
JR.
Steamboat.
I was gonna. Is that JR?
I
That
don't know.
sounded
Sure
like
sounds
a
like
really southern accent. I don't know.
We'll have to check it out. But yeah. Okay, so you brought it up a little bit here. I'm curious. Well, hang on. Let me see if this says.
Okay, but do you see my point I was making before? Look at this. Just look at the presentation compared to Vince.
Yep.
I mean, the turnbuckles look like they have rust on them. If you look behind the padding, it looks like they have rust on them. Okay.
Yep.
The lighting, not bad, but not great. You've got that like lighting that's like feels like right now it's like in your eyes. Okay.
Yep.
Darker arena in the upper area. I mean, that's the difference. We'll see the entrance here in a minute, I'm sure, but that's the difference. I mean, the stupid blue padding on the floor, the ring rail is like this cheap little blue thing. I mean, you see the difference though, but that matters, and so it just always killed it on production. I mean, the ring apron's terrible. The tables aren't covered. I'll stop talking about it now, but you get my point. I mean, look at the ring. It just, I mean, like the corners of it just look like old and dungy.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this too, so that Jim Ross is commentating, but I believe that was the friend of the payoff, Magnum TA on commentary. So yep, that makes sense. So slow start here. Kind of Flair was working the outside as he does, just kind of walking around, being the heel. Like makes sense on this one. So I wonder, you said WrestleMania 4, which was 88, and so then 5 being 89. And this was kind of wedged in there, before WrestleMania 5. 5, of course, ending with that would have been Savage and DiBiase. You had the double DQ with Hulk.
5, that's 4. 5.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. 4 was that.
Yep.
And then 5, you have the mega powers exploding. And so, and like comparatively here, like to have this match, like you figure your 2 top stars are in this match.
That's the best match you could have put forward at this time.
Right. Exactly. Do you, like how much of this, booking 5 the way it was, like you put, you figure your 2 biggest stars, like is there anything that other than, like you said, it does look kind of dingy at this point. That's just kind of how it was in a lot of ways too. But was this in some ways Vince trying to put the nail in their coffin? Like, how much of that? Because then even the following year at 6, it was Warrior and Hogan. So could they keep up with that pace? Do you think? Like, could NW is there any universe where, maybe Vince books it? Go ahead.
Only shot. First of all, I just don't think anyone could, in this era, I just don't think anybody could possibly compete with Vince McMahon. I mean, the guy's working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. He'll do anything it takes to win. I mean, who the hell wants to compete with that? I mean, you're competing against a wrestling promotion owned by a TV network or an old territory guy. I mean, you look at who there was just never, you look at it from a business standpoint, there was just no way Vince was going to lose. But during this era, Steamboat, hell of a baby face, hell of a nice guy, great wrestler. But Ricky Steamboat is not the Macho Man. He's not the Ultimate Warrior. He's certainly not Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is, look, we love Flair. He's one of the all-time greats. In-ring, promo, character, outside of the ring, life story, everything, right? I mean, Flair's one of a kind. But Ric Flair, I don't believe, maybe outside of a couple times, ever really had the capacity to put 50, 60,000 people in an arena or a stadium. There's only one guy that did, really, during this era. So, Flair, they did a great crowd for him and Von Erich in Texas. But that was because of Von Erich, right? I mean, Flair was a heel. Flair was a heel that went for an hour and somehow won. And so I just don't think they had a shot.
Well, and especially when you look at it, I say the bigger picture. By the way,
this match is just awesome. I mean, these guys are just
Flair being the heel again. Yep.
And they tanned Ric Flair.
Can you hear him booing the shit out of him?
Yep. I was gonna say, I think I totally agree with your start. You talk about like did Flair? Well, I think that there was definitely a time where, like, he carried these promotions. He did, but to put on, when you look at it, Hogan did 5 WrestleMania main events in a row. Like, is there anybody, even like nowadays, that has the star power to do 5 WrestleManias in a row as the main event? Like, I don't like it. It hasn't happened. It being the main event, like, but could anybody, like, could Cena, could The Rock, like?
Well, he arguably did 8 because at 5, I'm sorry, at 4, they kind of, it was like the tournament, but they kind of headlined, him and Andre, and then
it was on the poster,
yes, and then 7 and 8 was that co-main event, but yeah, I mean, it's just so much different now with 12 shows a year. So, could someone be in the mix for 8 straight? I mean, hell, Roman Reigns. I mean, he's going to end up being, in a headline main event spot for the better part of 10. Wow, Steamboat up to I thought he was going to.
Yeah. Oh, I did too. Yep.
I wonder if that's a DQ in this era.
Yeah.
So again, Flair on the outside.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so maybe Roman, like, which I haven't asked the question. I feel like we're on the road. I'm allowed to ask this question now. Cody's going to beat him, right?
Has to.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. If you don't, Cody's never going to be hotter than he is right now.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And I will even say, I don't think he's as hot now as he was 6 months ago.
Okay.
And I will also say that I believe within the next 6 months, he will be a heel.
Cody will? Yeah.
I just don't think there's money in him being a babyface for much longer. And I think it could get old really fast. I mean, the shucks, I want to win the title for Dad. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for it, and I want to see that moment. Where do you go from there?
Well,
I think he's a heel. I mean, he comes out in a suit. He kind of looks like a heel already. I think, it depends on how far you want to go with it. But, I mean, here, I'll put it this way. If I were a writer for WWE and I was in that room, I would at least throw out the idea of, hey, when he wins, we give him the crowning moment. Roman's going to shake his hand. Cody's going to attack him and turn heel.
Mm.
And next night on Raw, he's going to say, I can't believe that you dumb sons of bitches bought that whole story about how much I wanted to win this time. My dad didn't care about the WWF title. He cared about the NWA championship. I came here from a rival organization, and I'm here to take over. I would strongly consider that storyline and have Cody just turn on everyone. Now, will they? Probably not. You probably want to get as much mileage out of the babyface run, sell a bunch of merchandise. His American Nightmare logo and shtick, I think, lends itself to being a babyface. But I would talk about him being a heel immediately. I'd also talk about him being a heel at some point, like a championship reign that starts as a huge babyface but ends as a heel. And who beats him? I think a babyface Roman Reigns could beat him at SummerSlam. I think a babyface Drew McIntyre could beat him on the next UK show. I think a babyface Seth Rollins could potentially beat him. There's a lot more I think you can do with Cody as a heel than as a babyface.
Which these guys are beating the hell out of each other too. Like Steamboat is really laying into Flair at this point, which has been pretty fun to see, actually.
I'd like to see a babyface Edge have one more championship run and beat a heel Cody.
Well, and the hot thing right now, and who knows, like it's what it seems the Twitter universe wants is who is hotter right now, though, Cody or Sammy to beat Roman? Because a lot of stuff that I've been reading says, hey, cowards, let Sammy beat Roman there. But that they don't see Sammy as the top guy. Like,
I have two thoughts on that. So my first inclination is absolutely not. Keep your eye on the prize, which is Cody ends Roman Reigns' reign at WrestleMania, huge main event, closes it down Sunday night. And I think that's what you have to do.
Yep.
I will say, and look, but part of me says, man, if you have Sammy winning, and by the way, we're recording this before Elimination Chamber. I think Elimination Chamber already occurred, so we won't waste too much time on this. But if you have Sammy win, it's a massive moment.
Yep.
And just like in my comparison would be Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar the month before WrestleMania. A moment we still talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But if all they wanted was moments, then Drew McIntyre would have beat Roman Reigns in the UK.
At Clash, yeah. It
only lasted for a month. So I believe their contention as an organization is that we're never going to have another situation ever again where we have a champion for multiple years like this.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to honor it, and it has to end at WrestleMania. But I mean, you saw that UK thing. That would have been one of the biggest pops of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy beating Roman. I mean, but you could also argue the pop for Sammy was the chair shot. It would not be the pinfall. And then where do you go with Sammy as champ? You do Sammy Cody. Well, everyone wants Sammy to beat Cody, and now Cody's a heel, and that's not what you want. So, yeah, I mean, they got themselves into quite a little pickle. But I think the moment with Sammy was the chair shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Big chops here now from Steamboat, Flair taking them. Yeah, these guys, they have been eating the hell out of each other now for the better part of this entire match.
Another chop. How much can this man take, as we have said? Oh, he's upside down. He goes down the apron. The Nature Boy's up top.
What the hell was that? That was incredible.
And he kicks out. My God, we're talking about a few inches from having a new world champion crown.
I thought Flair was going to spin out there to the outside, and he ran to the other turnbuckle, up it, and then hit a crossbody. That was insane. Everybody's on their feet.
God, they're all.
He's got it locked in on the
Everyone
challenger.
on their feet.
This is Flair's forte. He knows how to hurt you. He knows how to apply the pressure. He can make this so excruciating.
That was insanity. That was great, though.
Literally be broken.
We know.
You know what defies physics, science, biology?
What?
Is Ric Flair's cardio during this era, despite having 30 night.
Knowing what we know now, yeah.
How is it possible? Jeff, I have a couple beers and I'm hungover these days.
And they were doing it every night.
You're just built for it. It's just different, man.
With pills and everything. Like, yeah. Well, that's like, I think like back to Rumble and like, all like, while Cody won it, like Gunther was still the star on that one of like literally setting all records to the longest ever and doing what he did. I can't and then he's pulling power bombs after 55, 60, 65 minutes. And someone pointed out, I forget it was so they were the final two. And normally they go to the quick finish on the Rumble. They had like a 13-minute match, or 12-minute match after it was just the two of them. And Cody was a little bit fresher, because of when he came in at 30. But if you go, 60 plus minutes and then, okay, now we're going to start our match. That's insanity. That's crazy. And these guys, you figure not just the alcohol, but the drugs and everything else. And just,
Flair was just an alcohol guy, just to be clear. I don't think he was popping pills and all that stuff, but those that were, it's wild.
Yeah, and just all of that stuff, because you figure, probably rolled up to the arena at 5:00, kind of got ready leisurely, just kind of, hanging out. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So he worked him hard on the figure four. Everybody's cheering. We got people up all over the place, like things happening. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. And they're both like selling like crazy too. So Flair working the leg, kind of playing up that angle as well too. This is just really good stuff here. Yep.
I mean, this is phenomenal.
Is the I know it's early, but is 2023 going to be Ric Flair's retirement match?
I don't think he's going to do another one.
All right, yeah. Hard to say. You never know. I feel like every interview he wants it though. Like, and so it's hard to say what's going to happen here. Oof, big tumble to the outside.
Do you think he does another match?
I think so. I think he wants it too bad. Like, I think that, man, it's just hard. I don't want to see it, but I also think the man can't stay away. I think he has to. I think he has a structure around him, though. Kind of like people that could help him do another match. Who knows? Maybe the right person comes along and he wants to, do it. I don't know. I could see him just getting physical in a WWE ring again, like some crazy angle of like, he obviously was just back for the 30th. And so, doesn't need to cut a promo, but maybe takes a couple chops or something and then pops up against somebody like, who knows?
Yeah. Well, you could throw a guy like The Miz in that situation who wouldn't be hurt by it, and it'd be super entertaining.
Well, and speaking of like legends, not coming back, were you a fan of the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match? We haven't talked about it at all yet. Like,
I had no issue with it. I mean, it just got shit on. From what I saw online, I'm like, it was fine. It was like 8 minutes long. Like, it was different. I mean, not everything has to be like a straight wrestling match. It was a different presentation. Look, it was a show that was 4 hours long, that had 2 Royal Rumbles and had a long, super dramatic main event. I mean, it's a variety show. You do it. Hey, do I need to see one again this year? No, but they're just trying different stuff. It was perfectly fine. What do you think?
My thought right now,
Jeff, people watch this shit just looking to be angry. I look at it wanting to be entertained.
I thought, and I told my brother this actually, that I think the presentation of Bray Wyatt is a 10 out of 10. Like, I don't ever want that to. Flair using the ropes here, trying to get some leverage. Come on, ref, look up. I think the presentation is a 10 out of 10. I feel like the story right now is like a 2 out of 10. They're not moving it at a pace that is keeping me interested. And so every week I wish there was some kind of progression, even if it was little, but there's two, like they keep talking about the Wyatt 6, like there's literally 2 people. You figure Alexa is going to be 3, like, whether it's the puppets or whatever too, like who knows, but like, I thought the match was actually pretty fun. I thought it was a different dynamic. Like I know they made, like you said, they made fun of it, like it's in a laser tag arena and stuff like that. But also like it looked different. It looked cool. He had the cool paint on and stuff that you could only see under those lights. Like I thought that was a really cool presentation in the way they did it. But also like, okay, I'm ready to kind of get some answers here. I'm ready for something to be happening because I feel like that part of it, wow, what a bridge up there after this long, that I feel like it's getting stagnant to me. But like, I don't like, again, like it should be a money printer and it's just not for them. And maybe their internals are showing that he is. I saw that Cody's got one of the highest, or after what was it? Like Rumble, his like merchandise was just off the charts. which I get it, but maybe that's what Bray's doing too. But also like, and I've said, hey, we had the undead, the undead Undertaker for 30 plus years. Like I'm all for, as my buddy Twig likes to say, like I'm all for a little supernatural in my wrestling. I am all for a little supernatural in my wrestling, but like, yep, like you know what, that's fun. Like do it right. It doesn't all have to be grounded. Like you can have some fun with it. But also, like let's keep it moving forward here. Let's keep telling the story because I want the story. I want to know more. But I feel like, for a 10-minute segment on Raw that they announce as like a headliner thing, and then it doesn't come on until 10 o'clock. It's like I'm ready for bed at that point. Like let's do something here with what you got.
I don't know how much time they've even got left in this baby. Steamboat, flying tackle. He landed on his feet.
Jim, he's going for it.
This is just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Right here.
Everybody on their feet.
The Dragon with a judo chop. Ric Flair is in trouble. The Dragon.
I thought that was going to be way more impressive than it was. It was just like a judo chop. He just chopped him on his head and Flair went down.
He's on top. The Dragon will fly. He nailed it. Oh, Tommy Young went down.
Oh, ref bump.
Tommy Young, the referee, down.
There's nobody there to make the count.
Wow. Place is just going nuts, man. Got a ref down.
Bad referee placement, yep.
Flair's got the tights, got the roll up.
But the ref not there to count it, yep. Good stuff, though, up to this point. Like, they're just manhandling each other. Steamboat. Nope. Try to toss him outside, but Steamboat going up to the top again here.
Steamboat flies, but he missed it. He missed the flying body press off the top. And now Flair has turned the corner. He twists the leg. Inside. Wait a minute, inside cradle. Can he hold him? Yes, he can. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat has won the world title.
It was the ultimate counter. Who would have believed it out of nowhere? A small package, no luck. The champion goes down.
Ladies and gentlemen,
roll them up.
In 23 minutes and 18 seconds, the winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat!
Flair beside himself.
Wow.
And look at the pop for him, too. My goodness. Everybody losing their minds out there.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Let's get into the aftermath.
Ho! It's time for the aftermath.
Well,
that was I didn't know what to expect, and it absolutely exceeded my expectations. Like it was really 23 minutes of nonstop wrestling. That is exactly what that was.
Couldn't have said it better myself, dude. That was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, just crazy. So,
wow.
Yeah. So getting into, so of course this then leading to a bunch of rematches where you had Steamboat presented as kind of the family man, and then Flair is the ladies man. And so there is this Chi-Town Rumble taking place, like we said, in February 20th. You then in April 2nd, you had the Clash of Champions 6. You had Steamboat defeating Flair again. That was a 2 out of 3 falls match to retain the title. It was a 55-minute match. And then Flair, and so because Flair's foot was on the bottom rope during the third fall of that one, it was announced they were going to have another rematch. It was actually April 9th, just a week later, on Main Event for the title. And then even again, another one, it was actually Wrestle War. This is where Flair did beat Steamboat, and it was rated as 1989's match of the year. And so It's crazy to me. Like the match we just saw, I don't know if you still have it on. Like Steamboat's in the locker room getting sprayed with champagne and stuff like that. Like just really cool. And so taking a sip. There we go, champagne. Yeah, like to think that if this match was not the match of the year and they had better ones coming, like this was just crazy. And so, but then after that, after he lost the title, he actually remained the number one contender. It was actually had some feuding there with Lex Luger at this point. And so, it really his kind of last match because of contract issues against Luger 1989, like that was kind of it for him. And so you had then Flair, of course, dealing with then the JTEX Corporation. You had the Reformed Horseman as well too, and his feud with Sting, which we've talked about before, which later or would be the following year, following summer 1990, Flair dropping the title to Sting at Great American Bash. And so PWI, I couldn't find it actually. I just kind of not out there. I'll have to dig a little bit more and I can put it on Twitter for those either want. And so but the write-ups on this one, Meltzer gave this one 5 stars. Shouldn't surprise anybody on that one. The torch on this one, writing the actual title bout, was an all-time classic. Some of the write-ups on this one here, so this is just, they kind of capture them all. Absolutely phenomenal. That's what this business is all about. I've been watching wrestling for 30 years and it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I can't get over the match. That's what wrestling should be like. Flair's work was up to its usual par and Steamboat's high spots were fabulous. I expected the match to be great and dished out $20 to see greatness. I got what I paid for. 5 stars, says Dave Meltzer. In unison, right after the match's conclusion, they sat front row at the line of live event. And so I might as well quit watching wrestling now since I've never seen anything better than that display. Yeah. Wade on this one saying, well, there you have it. This is the immediate reaction to the main event. I cannot argue with any of the above quotes. It was truly a classic bout that will go down in history as one of the all-time greatest. And so, and this was one of many 5-star matches that Meltzer gave them. So, Tom, where are you going to rank this one?
Dude, this is probably one of the easiest ones that I've had to give a payoff score to. It's a 10.
Yep. It has to be. Yep. 10,
man. You know, all the history between these two guys, title change, crowd going nuts, incredible 23-minute match. I will tell you, and I'm not saying this based on eras, I'm just saying in general, you know, we watched that Okada match recently.
Yep.
Give me that match. Give me the Flair Steamboat match any day. It's a better match, man. The psychology's better. The suspense is better. It's a better match, man. I mean, that is like a perfect professional wrestling match.
It's almost shocking, like comparing that to this, it feels crazy, but like they did more, it feels like in 20-ish minutes on this match than that match did. It never let up. It was nonstop, like, you know, just a ton of action the whole time. And so, I'm right there with you. I'm obviously a 10 as well too on this one. Like, I feel like every once a month now or every other month now, we got to do these kind of Flair Steamboat matches, because if this was the first of 5 and they only got better after this point, like, oh man, we are in for a treat on this one. This is one that if you have not watched this one in a while, go back and watch this one, because it is worth it. As they say, it is worth the $20. It is worth the payoff. It was very good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I loved it. I can't believe how good it was.
Yep.
Well, that was fun, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, let's send them home happy.
Well, as always, thank you for joining us for an all-new episode of The Payoff. And next week, man, ECW. I mean, what a transition. Like, I cannot wait for this match. I haven't seen it in many, many years, but I remember it being a classic, and I cannot wait. So, Bam Bam and Taz next week, Living Dangerously 98. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. We'll see you next week on an all-new episode.